it up, lads. We're never gonna see Megamind ever again. To cue you all in on what I'm talking about, on February 1st, the official DreamWorks Twitter account released a trailer for the Megamind sequel movie and TV series. 14 years too late, but okay. The way I imagine the TV series is, you know that Kung Fu Panda one that kinda happened, or that Monsters vs. Aliens series that no one remembers at all? And to say the least, people weren't exactly happy with what they saw. And my first exposure to the trailer, well, it wasn't exactly me jumping for joy, it was more or less... Listen, I'm by no means a diehard fan of Megamind, but I'd be lying to say it isn't a movie that I've grown a greater appreciation for as I've aged. It's kinda quite similar to other classics of my childhood like Up, where I see them now a lot differently, but I still can enjoy them as much, if not more, as I can as an adult as I was a child. And it's just so intensely disappointing to see the current bastardization of such a well-promising IP, especially to nowadays standards where good content really isn't in quantity. So what's so goddamn bad about this trailer that almost everyone just unanimously hates it? And no, this isn't an exaggeration. Look at any comment section and I guarantee you 99.9% of people are saying it looks like fucking shit. Well, it's quite simple actually. It looks like a shitty cash grab with none of the original charm of the original 14-year-old movie, or quite frankly, the budget. Somehow, the movie that released 14 years ago looks miles better than the newest installment. And I get it's a TV show and a movie, by the way, so it's supposed to have a lower budget, but you don't make it even more obvious by showing the scenes from the original movie side by side with the show in your own trailer. Quite frankly, whoever the fuck did this deserves to be fired. I don't think it takes a genius to tell you that's bad marketing and it's a rookie mistake. Aside from the obvious downgrade in budget, if you haven't caught all the flaws already, let me obnoxiously point them out to you in a dumb YouTube video. Let's just get the low-hanging fruit out of the way. Yeah, Megamind's VA isn't Will Ferrell, and it's really fucking obvious. Actually, obnoxiously obvious. It doesn't even sound like the voice actor even tried to emulate his voice, or that DreamWorks even looked for anyone qualified enough to replace him. And look, I could really easily just forgive not having the original voice actor. It's kind of hard to sometimes do that nowadays, but every line delivery doesn't even sound genuine. It just sounds like a really bad caricature. So without even seeing the trailer itself, it's already a disappointment, and writing the new movie and show off on the basis of no Will Ferrell alone is kind of a bad idea, because there's so many more problems than just the voice acting. The animation alone is just choppy as hell. In the first 5 seconds, this is just very apparent. The motion is very stiff and lacks fluidity. His arm is coming down and just doesn't look right at all. And pairing those first 5 seconds with the street walk scene of the original is just... oh, that's just a really bad start for your trailer, isn't it? Honestly, doing that is like holding up a massive sign saying, yeah, I didn't give a horse's left testicle about the quality of this product, just consume it, please. And when the animation isn't choppy, it's just very oddly floaty, which is easily shown when Megamind over here is handing this kid a grenade. It just looks wrong and fake. And there's more of the really obvious things that I could point out, like there's no real shading on the characters or the environments, and the higher detail has been cut back for much more simpler designs. But even if we were to add shading onto this fucking rat turd, I don't think it would exactly make the animation look better now, would it? And one more thing I forgot to even touch up on my own script before recording this voiceover, the cinematography is oddly really bad. Every angle is just very visually unappealing, and I don't understand how you mess this up like that. And I don't even think it costs that much to have good cinematography. It's like they didn't even bring a single person who's experienced in DreamWorks to actually work on this. It looks like they fucking outsourced it. Now let's talk facial expressions. All of them just look off or just straight up really don't fit the scene in the slightest. In the original Megamind, his face was very fluid and it gets a very wide range of cartoonish emotions, which all kind of fit effortlessly and cement his character. Now, comparing that to the newest trailer, oh dear God, what did you guys do? His face looks really off. I can't tell if they remodeled him, but I'm pretty sure he did. But his face proportions look really wrong to me. And I don't really know how to explain it besides his head looks much larger than normal, I think is the best way to say it. Every delivery, though, it looks fake and plastic. It's like watching a really bad child actor, but it's animated by fucking DreamWorks. The guys who released the beautiful and visually stunning Puss in Boots: The Last Wish last year, how did you guys manage to have so little faith than a project that you give it a budget this low. The fucking Button of Doom, a short movie that released in conjunction with the original with DVD, looks and is infinitely better by a storytelling standpoint than a project that is being released 14 years later. How? For Christ's sake, the lip sync even looks bad to me. And I get it's a trailer, so not every line delivery is tailored to the scene, but holy shit. If you watch his mouth for just 3 seconds, it looks like he's saying anything else but what he is right now. All of that alone is a crime against the Geneva Convention, but I just want to quickly talk about the new character models because Jesus, they look bad. Originally, I was just thinking maybe the citizen models just were always kind of that ugly. But after watching a few Metro Man meme compilations, I can proudly say, no, it's just all the new characters, which is very ironic considering 5 of them are main characters and thus implies you're going to see a lot of them. But instead of making any interesting facial design choices, we just get sentient plank of wood over here. And she and all the other new characters just look edited in from a different source material and not explicitly made with the art style in mind, leading them to feel very distracting and ugly to look at. I mean, it literally looks like fucking Paw Patrol, and nobody else can tell me otherwise. So many people think that, and you know what? I see it very clearly. And with all the audio-visual content broken down, let's just talk about the characters themselves, because this just isn't Megamind. It feels like somebody wearing his skin and pretending to be him without any actual growth or development he's experienced. And that is actually so much more apparent when you've actually watched Button of Doom and realize he has changed just a little bit compared to whatever the fuck this abomination is. Honestly, this iteration just feels like a lot more of a dumb teenager version of him rather than somebody who's grown through the first movie and Button of Doom and realizing who he is as a person, or more importantly, who he is as a hero to this city. At the end of the first movie, he's mostly humbled, but yet a teeny bit snarky, still showing compassion while still playing off of his villainy. But in, well, this 2024 sequel, we have what feels like a narcissistic douche who only is in the business for the attention and not really the compassion he found in himself at the end of the story arc. Honestly, he just feels like some dumb frat boy, not some genius villain turned hero. He feels like some shitty spy player from TF2 desperately trying to convince you he's Megamind, only for him to get torched a second later to reveal he's obviously nothing close. And aside from his general character and mannerisms being butchered in this trailer, his humor is entirely horrible and I cannot excuse it. It's just, I get it's Will Ferrell's improv that made Megamind who he is, and he'd never be the same without him, but seriously, every joke that comes out of this guy's mouth now is just, it feels so fake and forced.
The DOOOM Syndicate, I despise them more than button-down collars.
Okay.
Like, does that sound like something you'd hear him say? Seriously, watch the original, then the trailer, and then tell me with a straight face you can unironically hear Megamind say this shit. I don't think you could agree with that. So visuals and voice acting are just not good. Could maybe its plot be at least worth a 3 out of 10? Well, just reading from the internet, well, the movie plot is he has a group of bad guys he used to work with who come back and hang out, and he has to stop them. So I guess we'll just be ignoring the fact entirely that Megamind has always been established to be a reclusive loner who really only had Minion in his entire life, and he doesn't even know how to say hello in the first movie, but we'll just forget that. That's so cool, I guess. I'm very interested. You guys had a lot of things to work with. What I think would be probably infinitely cooler is you have a new supervillain established in the city, and this time you basically get to see the superhero's point of view compared to Megamind's, who was the villain, and you get to compare and contrast the differences between him and Metro Man's relationship and him and his new supervillain's relationship. Like, the first movie had this super odd idea of, like, what if the villain won? What would happen after that? And they explored this whole yin-yang idea where one is meaningless without the other. The villain got bored because there was nobody to stop him. There was no reason to go because there was nothing to defy against. And alternately, why would there be a hero if there's nothing to stop? Now, maybe they could be doing this with a new movie, but I highly doubt it because it just doesn't seem like they even have the budget to have competent writers on the team, so fuck it, who knows what they have up their sleeve. But odds are, let's just be honest, there's probably no chance we'll even have an interesting plot in general. It'll probably just be a cookie-cutter superhero story and that's it. How about the show? Please tell me that maybe that's something moderately more interesting and not retconned. He's an influencer, because why the fuck not? not. I didn't expect that, I guess that's fair. And when it was rumored online that this was the whole thing, I thought it was just a silly joke, but I guess we're getting what is equivalent to a shitpost for a plot. So you know what? Fuck it, that's cool. Maybe I'll really hate it or I'll have a tiny moderate amount of fun with it, but I hate vlog channels, so I probably will just fucking hate it for the sake of that. Because I definitely love to see that Bethany's at the Cheesecake Factory today, eating with the besties. Jesus Christ, I don't care, lady. We know you're posting this to avoid your friends commenting about your failing marriage. And seeing Megamind probably hitting the gym going, oh, they just don't know a real one's coming at them. You just gotta keep eating, sleeping, and grinding, bro. That's the way you get the woman. Never under any circumstances have fun, even for 3 seconds. Always grind. You know what? Seeing Megamind become a gym bro might be really fucking funny. I wish they did that instead. But overall, there's just genuinely nothing redeeming to me from what's available to us about the new Megamind show and movie. I can't wait to see one of my beloved childhood characters turn into a tax write-off when the studio realizes nobody wants this. But screw it, maybe we'll be lucky and not live in the worst timeline conceivable, and it'll be a lot more like the Sonic movie, where online criticism causes a complete overhaul of what was going to be a visually disgusting and worthless movie. But with 2023 hindsight, I'm running out of hope. I know this was a bit of a shorter one, and that's really because there's only so many ways I can say I'm disappointed without losing 50% of my audience retention. So yeah, the future of Megamind is just not looking good, but maybe we'll be surprised. We'll see in March, I guess. See you there.